Unscripted, unshackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly, Uncensored.
Welcome to Miguel and Holly Uncensored. It is our off-air podcast that we do on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We stream it live, usually around 10:30 on the Miguel and Holly Facebook and YouTube channel. Don't forget, you can also join the Miguel and Holly / Platypus Posse Facebook page, where it's a special place just for Platypus Posse members
and
to
bots.
go and bots. I'm about to say,
got a couple of bots out.
Be careful. Every time I go through and I see someone go, I'm so glad I'm in this group. I can't wait to learn more. I'm like, bot, kick you out. Bye.
Yeah, I know.
So keep reporting those if you see them on the Facebook page. But also give a listen to our other podcast, Miguel and Holly Full Show. It's our entire show without any music, no commercials, posted every day right after the show. Also our Blown Off podcast. If you're traveling, you want to listen to them back to back, Queen City Confessions, all of it. Also, we are on the road to 500 reviews, and we are at 487 before the end of the year. Once we get to 500, we will do a $50 giveaway. We need to start thinking about how we're going to do it.
Oh, hold on a second, because now I'm actually thinking about this a little more. Is it a $50 giveaway to the people who have written reviews?
No, because some people
anyone?
don't have access to Apple Podcasts, so they can't leave a review.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to come up with a way that people who listen, like maybe it'll be like we'll say it on a podcast on Monday, and then you'll have a week, and everyone who comments on a post on the Facebook page group will be entered into the drawing or something. Because I wanted to be open to everyone that listens to the podcast. But like I said, we got to figure out now that we're getting close how to do it.
Parameters in place.
Because I don't know, but we're gonna do it somehow.
Okay.
All right, we got a couple more reviews that have come in. Speaking of, this is from iPhone Gamer Boy.
Oh,
The most real podcast. Subject line: love listening to this amazing podcast discussing real world issues that we are facing today. So relatable. From IGB 68 proud to be part of the fam. This is such an awesome podcast. Funny, emotional, and touching. Thank you for being authentic and real. I've been a listener in the Tampa Bay area for a long time and continue to enjoy all of your lives and adventures. Keep up the great job.
hooray.
And Liz Lucky: I've been a part of the Miguel and Holly fam since Party Rock Anthem in Tampa, and I started listening to the podcast during the Corncast days and never stopped.
Corncast. I forgot about that.
I now look forward to the podcast every week. I was never a podcast person before listening to Miguel and Holly, but I love how real they are, the topics they discuss, and the guests they bring on. Platypus forever. And then Tinny Jackson: I've been in the Miguel and Holly fam since 2017. Joined the Platypus Posse a couple years later. I love laughing and crying with them, sometimes crying because I'm laughing so hard. I'm so grateful to have had this podcast over the years. All three of them always leave me with something to think about and also so much joy. Thank you for everything that you do.
So sweet.
So there you go. So thank you so much.
Can somebody get it tattooed?
What?
A platypus? If you're a real fan.
Are you going to get one?
You know, due to my religion.
And
I'm not
what's the
allowed
religion?
to.
What's the religion?
What is the religion?
Lies.
Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga has lots of tattoos.
Mother Monster has all the tattoos. Okay, so you don't need to.
Lies.
Lying ass bitch.
I've always wanted to do that promotion, like tattoo for something, like put our logo. But I just, to be 100%, because it's us, the Platypus Posse. So radio stations have done that for years. But also knowing how fickle radio is.
I know.
I don't want to ask you to put.
No.
Like, I would ask you to put Miguel and Holly.
Yeah.
But like the radio's done.
I would never want you to put a radio station on your ass cheek or something, because that radio station is gonna go away.
I mean, it always have a place in your heart, but
I got a bunch of bumper stickers.
That will look real good.
Yeah, I get MH. Just not a BH.
I think it's a little hypocritical for someone to get, like, for us to have someone get an M&H tattoo and the actual M&H not have one.
Well, I'm gonna tattoo my name on myself.
Shut up, Holly.
What the fuck do you think this is? Bitch, it's Holly.
But it doesn't say HOLLY. It's
No, but it's
Holly What am I gonna get as Miguel?
I don't know. Well, I'm just saying. I'm just saying you would maybe get it like as our this is what our life's passion has been.
Listen, on my class ring, I have a little like camera, TV, satellite for like media. That's about as much as you're gonna get.
Okay, so then we can't ask other people to.
Yes, if we're giving away tickets to something.
Oh no, that's right.
That's how you get promotion.
Yeah.
I would feel so bad.
I'm sorry if we're getting you
I
if it's like an amazing experience, we're giving you something to. That's the price to pay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the price to pay.
And if you have a sleeve, like what's a little
Right.
M&H?
I just don't want someone with no tattoos being like, I'm just gonna do this for you guys. I'd be like, please don't.
I'm sorry.
You gotta have more than like 5 on me.
No, if we're like, let's say they were like, hey, we want to give y'all if a Daddy Age Air Boss came to us and said, hey, we have a flyaway to see Taylor Swift in Los Angeles. We're gonna fly them there, give them a hotel, give them $1,000 spending money. How do y'all want to give it away? Bitch, best believe you better get our name tattooed on your ass. Because that's worth the price of admission for that.
It could be, especially if it's not in a place like if it's in a place you could cover up.
Okay.
Because what if you hate us one day?
Well, bitch, I hope you have fun at Taylor Swift. I don't care. I'm talking about the future. I'm trying to get the TV cameras out here to see us tattoo it.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't care about if you're going to hate us in the future.
That's fine. That's fine.
Miguel's about the present.
I'm sorry. All right.
Do you see, this is how our promotion meetings go. I'm like, all right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to hang Kelvin from a crane and we're going to have people beat him like a piñata. And Holly's like, but that's mean, y'all. I don't know.
What about his broken bone?
I don't know. Like, what happens if
The
like
cultural
he gets
ramifications.
really hurt? Like, someone's gonna tell us we're appropriating something.
But see, this is where it does help because I remember one time in Tampa. Remember when we were sitting in a meeting and they were like, all right, because we endorse Corona, and they were like, we're gonna put Miguel and Holly on billboards all around Tampa with sombreros on. And I was like, that sounds fun.
But everybody was like, yes, do it. Who are gonna get the pictures? And just for context, this was in the year of George Floyd.
Yes.
And
well, this was right before. This is May, so this was right before Cinco de Mayo.
Right before Cinco de Mayo, but right after during the pandemic. No, right after George Floyd. Yes. It was like 2020 or 2021. It was for Cinco de Mayo. Everyone was like, and like literally in that moment in history, every single person started fully being aware of like racial and like all of these things. And they're like, we're gonna put y'all in sombreros for Cinco de Mayo, and y'all can maybe be holding a taco, and maybe y'all drinking that Corona. And everyone's like, yes. And I was like,
Holly was like,
maybe. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't want to be this person.
Holly, gosh.
Sucker.
But maybe we shouldn't be wearing the sombreros. And everyone's like, why? And I'm like, I just think that right now, I don't want to be canceled.
I want to have fun and give away
I want to be on a billboard.
And I'll be on a billboard with a sombrero. My name is Miguel.
I know. And then ultimately, they canceled it. Like,
they're like, no,
maybe for the
better. Let's see here. Shannon said, Miguel, do you have any tattoos? No, I do not. I do not. Stefan said, I have my name tattooed on my lip.
Ow.
Work.
Ow.
Get it.
Mm-hmm.
Ouch.
Kelvin, do you have any tattoos?
I do not.
No. Oh. I'm this crazy tatted up bitch.
With the Holly.
I have one tattoo and it's Holly.
Commitment issues for me. I feel like I'd get over it very quickly.
You would. Don't do it. I can't recommend enough not to do it. I cannot recommend enough. I regret it so deeply every single day.
Wow. I really want my tattoo that I've been talking about for like 10 years now.
What is it?
A stamp that looks like a stamp and it says made in ATL 1985.
Yeah.
You should do it. But okay, maybe let me rephrase it. I don't
He's like, I hate it.
Walk it back. It literally took about 8 years of living with this and having regret all the time that I finally like made peace with it. So I'm fine with it now. Make sure that you are getting exactly what you want. I don't even know how to do it because I did mine in the worst way. But like, if they can show you exactly what it's going to look like before it gets put on your body, that's probably fine.
Right.
Because I had like a friend's brother do mine because everyone was like, oh, he's so good. He's so good at tattoos. And he is like, he's a really artistic, like great at drawing, like great at tattooing. The fact that this man is a tattoo artist is not in question. The question is, I go, I want holly on my wrist. I want it to look like this. And I sent the picture and he's like, yeah, that's great. And then he started doing it. And as it's taking shape, I was like, this isn't, what is this that you're doing? And he's like, well, I'm making it look like real holly, like the plant. It's going to be shaded. And I was like, okay. Absolutely not what I wanted. And it was like at the time my friend's brother, so I couldn't say anything. And it was just.
Were you at his shop or were you like?
I was at her kitchen table.
Well, you can always get it removed.
I don't want to get it removed. That is a whole pain in the ass. So that's why I said it took about 8 years and I've made peace with it. I go back and forth sometimes because sometimes I'm even still like this tail looking thing. But like, no, it's a reminder that like you have to be very specific in what you ask for and what you get.
Yeah,
and so I use it as a reminder of that. And I use it as a reminder of like, I really did want holly and it does look like holly. And sometimes I color in little red marker where the holly berries are. And I'm like, that would be cute. Maybe I could get that one day. But like,
and also too,
know what
like,
you're getting. Know what you're getting.
Make sure that, you know, you yourself have seen the work that they do.
That's what I'm saying. Or just like, hey, what are you putting on me exactly? Right. And I can't imagine maybe like this is probably not a relevant story for most people because you probably go to a tattoo shop and that's probably what they do. So that might not be like valid advice, but like just know because it's permanently on you. So like know exactly what you're getting, exactly what it's going to look like and all this before it goes on your body. That's all.
I have a question for you all that I put on my Facebook page the other day.
Okay.
What's a widely accepted societal norm today that you believe will be seen as absurd or outdated in the near future? I ran across this some article where they were like debating like things that we're doing now, and I found this so fascinating because I think about stuff like this all the time. So think about when we were younger, if you're a millennial or Gen X, how your parents, if they smoked, would take you to the smoking section and Chili's or Applebee's,
any restaurant,
and there was a smoking and non-smoking section. And my mom, love you, girl, she would take me to the smoking section, and I'd always be like, "Oh, I hate it."
And by the way, for some reason, it was like everyone went under the same delusion that like the smoke was going to stay in the smoking section.
Right, where it wasn't going to waft over.
It wasn't going to waft over and you could still smell it. Like that was what was so funny to me about that. Yes, smoking and non-smoking sections.
So something like that, because I always wonder, like, what are we doing today that we're going to look at and just be like, oh, girl, what are you talking about? Some of the answers I got on here was location sharing on the iPhone for anything other than safety.
Wait, what is it? Read it again.
I feel like that was from
location sharing on the iPhone for anything other than safety.
That's gonna go away, they said?
Yeah.
Oh.
I've got to like really sit down and think on like the societal norm, but I do think about a fashion norm that I think is starting to die down, but I think it was really silly at the time when it first came out. So I don't know how to pronounce it. Balayage, when you like dye half your hair, like the bottom half of your
balayage.
I think it's so silly. Like, don't get me wrong, I think it's beautiful, but I think in the future we're gonna be like, you really dyed half of your fucking hair a different color? Like, I always thought that. I don't know why. I think it's beautiful though, but I know that in the future,
like an ombre you're talking about.
Yes,
like the way that they do the balayage, where it's like an ombre from like dark to light.
Correct. Is there a celebrity that has that?
I feel like Khloe Kardashian really kicked it off. I feel like she was the one who.
Well, it's supposed to echo like if you had, let's just say you had dyed your hair blonde and you're a brunette, and then you decided not to do anything and it was just growing out. So
Right.
then it was like darker roots and it just sort of faded into the blonde at the end. It was sort of mimicking a grown out hairstyle, but that was like in.
Right. I feel like that'll be something we look back and we're like, we really did that?
Fashion does come and go like that though.
Anne Marie said high-rise jeans. Something that we'll look back and be like, is this what we really did?
But that like the balayage, like everything is so cyclical though. Like the fact that they're selling flare leg jeans again, but they're not calling, this is what's blowing my mind. So obviously my mom was a boomer, and when she graduated high school in like 1966. So in the 70s she wore bell bottoms, right? And then it went out and everybody was like, no, you did like the French cuff in your pants in the 80s and all this stuff. And then when I was in high school, like in the late 90s, flare leg jeans came back, but nobody called them bell bottoms. You called them flare leg pants. And my mom was like, oh my God, you're wearing bell bottoms? And I was like, they're flare leg, ma.
Oh,
they're flare leg. It's not the same. So I just had like a totally trippy moment. We're in Target and Maya was like, oh my gosh, I want these bell bottoms. And I was like, bell bottoms? We used to call those flare leg. And she's like, they're bell bottoms, mom. And I'm like, I felt like I was in like an inception with myself. I was like, what is happening? So the fashion cycles are super, I think 20-year cyclical. Like everything just comes back in a 20-year loop. The balayage probably and the high-rise jeans.
But see, I'm curious on like what from the early 2000s will come back, because I also, did we talk about this? Excuse me, on the podcast, or was this a TikTok I saw where they were saying that like in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, and even the 90s, every era had like a distinct style to it. But then like and they showed an example from like The Office, was this from what, like 2005, 2006?
Oh yeah, they had a picture of Pam from The Office and they were like, why does clothing hasn't changed since like 2007?
Like it looks exactly the same. Like you can't tell that was, it looks like that could be 2019 as opposed to 2005 or 2006. And so I'm wondering, how will it change? Like, will something crazy come out and all of a sudden we'll be like, boom, it's a distinct air, but we went 20 years without changing a whole lot?
Maybe we ran out of things because nobody wants to get out like Amish country pants and like sew their own things. That would be like the next frontier. I feel like that we just ran out. Like you can there's only so many things you can do with pants. Are they skinny? Are they wide? Are they straight?
Actually, you know what? I would take that back. I feel like living in Charlotte, I've seen, and maybe I just missed this living in Florida, but there's more athleisure wear that I see here, as like if you go to Lululemon or even like the chubby stuff that I wear, everything is like stretchy and comfortable. And in Charlotte, and you can work out in it, and you can also wear it to the office as well. And that's a big change because that's something that never existed, 10 years ago.
I think the pandemic really changed that.
Right. Well, we all want to be more comfortable now.
Right. So
like I have on jeans today, and I'm like, this is the first time I've worn jeans since probably April.
Oh.
And I'm like, ooh, crotch is kind of sweaty.
I know. I have my jeans on today too, and it hurts my knees. Like my knees, it's too tight on my knees.
I'm like, I need my joggers back on. You want to smell it?
I'm sorry. Did you just say you want to smell it and then put the microphone down your crotch? What the hell?
All right. Some other things that people said, well, a widely accepted societal norm now that will be seen as absurd or outdated in the near future. And then people are just, I'm going to rattle off some stuff. Emissions testing up north, shaking hands, winter, college, sadly marriage. And I think we are already there, which is horrible. And this one I 100% agree with. A credit score. Need credit to establish a credit score. Need credit score to get access to anything that might establish credit. I 100% agree with that.
And it's so stupid because like you pay off like a debt and then they're like, oh, your score went down. Sorry, you were responsible and paid your debts, but now you have to suffer the punishment. Like what? I
don't think I felt so much rage when I surprisingly paid off one of my student loans and didn't realize that it was paid off because there was no fanfare. All of a sudden I looked at my credit score and it was like, you've dropped 15 points. And I'm like,
you're like, F you.
For paying off a loan
But that's why I
really
actually
weird.
don't think credit scores will go anywhere, because like the less sense it makes for us, it feels like the more stranglehold that the billionaires have on us.
I read an article a long time ago that that Black Mirror episode where like they use your credit score for like also your social score. And so I've heard, and I haven't heard anything since that article, but that they are kind of using a system like that to allow you into places as long as your credit or your social score is good. So
Wait,
yeah.
you read it for real? It wasn't just a Black Mirror episode?
No. I mean, it was both. There was an article that was like, hey, this is inspired by that Black Mirror episode. So yeah,
Life seems like a Black Mirror episode sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, if they do something like that, they're going to have to start the education on credit scores early on. I mean, because there's a lot that we've talked about this before, where I've had to learn and go through and be like, because no one ever tells you about it. No one ever tells you anything. And then there's stuff I'm still learning when it comes to credit scores, because it's such a secret thing that you just have to like kind of hack the system and read up on it.
I know.
Even though we all have it.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Someone also said calling or text messaging someone and thinking we are entitled to receive an immediate response is absurd. We literally get mad when people don't respond because we know good and well their phones are in their hands. So why not answer? Bring back the early 90s when we didn't have these devices. They truly are just as evil as they are good.
I don't think that's.
I appreciate your rant, but like that's the opposite of what this post was asking for.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. I was like, it's not gonna get better.
It's not gonna get better. It's only going to get worse. Absolutely worse.
And
like
I do
social
agree.
media, all of that is getting worse.
Yes, I do agree. I not that I get mad, but I do get a little annoyed because like I know my partner has his Apple Watch on him all the time. I'm like, I know you see me, but poor thing is working.
Right.
So I get it.
It's like literally with someone, and you're like, where are you at?
Well, but it's so funny because we all do it. Because like if you text someone, they don't text you back. You're like, where the fuck are you? But then if someone texts you and then you're like, oh wait, let me respond in a minute because I'm cooking, or maybe I just don't feel like it in this moment.
Yeah.
I don't feel like writing something out.
Yeah.
Then we're like, well, don't get mad at me, girl. I just didn't feel like it.
Yeah, I know. It's the double-edged sword. And it's weird because like your friend could text you out of the blue and be like, hey, how are you doing? And like I have had a friend that has done that. As a matter of fact, she texted me like I think on Sunday evening at about 6. So it was around dinner time. But she was like, hey, how's your weekend been? And I was just like, I can't answer that right this second. I'm cooking dinner and I'm like, I don't know. I haven't even really thought about it. So it's like when someone texts you, to me, I feel like panicky because I'm like, I have to respond right away so they don't think I'm mad. But then I'm like, I was not prepared in this minute to do like a recap of my weekend. And so it's a hard thing. So then I was like, I got to do it. And then I will worry about it until I do a recap of my weekend. And then how are you? So it's being available all the time is definitely crazy.
And I've said this before, I think when Charlemagne the God from the Breakfast Club was at our morning show boot camp one time, and I don't remember what the question was. I just remember him saying, I don't go where I don't want to go. I don't talk to who I don't want to talk to. I don't text who I don't want to talk to. Now, granted, there are some things that you just have to do for work or a family thing, but I really do try to take that and live with that and be like, I'm not always, even if I am available, that doesn't mean that I'm mentally available.
Yes.
To entertain whatever it is that you're trying to get from me in this moment.
Yeah.
And if you're mad, okay, well, you didn't respect my time, so okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
I know. It's an ongoing struggle for me. This fucking people pleasing bullshit. It's fine. What else?
Letting children play tackle football.
Sports in general. Like the shit that happens with football and the brain. How are we allowing this?
I know. It's football mainly because it's such a rough contact sport. Like I know a lot of parents of boys that are like, my son will not be playing football. And I can't blame them. If I had a son, I don't think I would let him play football.
Right.
Because like we are so worried nowadays as parents in society about like safe helmets, elbow pads, make sure we're safe. And then we literally sending these kids out to like smash their brains into each other because sports. make that make sense. Maybe it's not the same parents, obviously. However, it's so vicious. Like, you just watch it, and like, we're all just used to football and watching football on Sunday or Monday or whatever. And I mean, I get into it too, but sometimes you see, like, oh, I know what it was. I was watching. I didn't choose to watch this, but my fiance was watching that Jets game against the Bills when Aaron Rodgers went down. And he was explaining to me that, like, for 6 months, New York Jets fans were building up Aaron Rodgers and how they were going to be so great in their team. And I'm like, oh God, I feel for this city or this fan base. But in that 5 seconds, this man got taken down and he's out for the entire season. Right. We don't even know if he's even going to be quite the same again. And so it's just like, I'm watching this going, you signed yourself up to potentially just get decimated by some giant other man in the name of this game. And I'm like, oh man, obviously you play with the expectation that that's not going to happen.
But you're running around tackling each other and these big ass men. I remember when Gronk was talking about when he first retired.
Oh yeah.
And how, I mean, he was in tears talking about the physical pain he was in during the season. And I'm like, well, thank God you got out. And then he got back in when Brady went. And I was just like, is that money really worth it? Like, I love me some money, girl, and I'll do just about anything. If somebody said, here's a chance for you to make $1 million, I would probably go for it, except for that. Because if you're not
right,
you can't enjoy that money if you are waking up crying because you're in so much physical pain. Then that money, that money's not worth it to me in that point because you can't enjoy it.
But that's like what you're really good. Like, let's pretend that that's what you're really good at. Like, you are.
Well, girl, it's time to take that money you have earned and let's do something else.
Oh yeah,
because you can't enjoy it.
No, I agree.
It's hard to say though, because of course, like, obviously I'm biased. I wouldn't care if football ended tomorrow. But it's really hard because it's a business at the end of the day, as much as it's a sport, but it is a business, and it's so much revenue, so much demand. Like, I can understand how somebody would write that and say, like, yeah, maybe a societal norm that we should end, a societal norm, football, but like, I don't see it because money drives so much. But I would not care if football ended. I think it'd be better for the players.
Teresa said cheap drive-through meal. Minimum wage is going sky high.
It's happening now.
Have you noticed that they're really, I mean, you can't really get it like what I would consider like a cheap meal anymore.
Nothing.
I mean, when you drive through any of like the cheap places, I'm talking like McDonald's, Wendy's, whatever, Taco Bell even. If you're feeding a family of 4, you're probably spending at least $45. And I'm like, do we want to spend $45 on this, or can we go to like a sit down place?
Yeah.
But you know what? I feel like that's also too, like, for our generation, like, we're in that moment in our lives where prices of things aren't the same. Like when our parents were growing up, you can get a hamburger for 15 cents, And so I remember when I was in high school and middle school, you could give me $5. I can get 2 cheeseburgers, a French fry, and a drink.
Yeah.
And I could do that for $5. Now you can't. Right. But so now it's like, because our parents then were like, oh my God, that's so much money for a value meal. Like, that's why going to just a fast food place was like so much even then. Yeah. But now it's upping to where it's like, I need $15 just to get a burger, fries, and a drink,
entree
for something now. And so it's like our brains are having to, and we're feeling what other generations have felt as they get older, know?
Really quick, I want to point this out before I forget. So you remember how like a few years ago, we thought we were in the middle of this great shift where people would not have to go into the office anymore. And then everybody was like, no, you get yourself back in the office. I feel like I thought that was going to be the way that things were going in the future, but I don't know.
No, 100%. Well, I think that once we saw that has ramifications for cities and other things and other businesses, that people were like, wait, we need y'all to come back. And then people are just lonely when you're just working at home by yourself all the time. Let's see here. Another thing that someone says will probably go away, monthly pet fees, paying with cash.
That was my thing. I actually had written down paying with cash or card. I think we are quickly getting to the point where literally everything is going to be on your phone.
At Whole Foods near my house in Uptown.
Yeah.
I haven't even looked into it because literally when I saw this thing, all I could think about was my grandma saying, "Mark of the beast." Amazon/Whole Foods has this new thing where you can pay where you just like swipe your arm.
Your arm?
I don't know how it connects to your checking institution or whatever, but all I thought was Mark of the Beast. Mark of the Beast. They want you to put something on your body. Mark of the motherfucking beast.
Oh my God.
When my grandma said we live in our last days, she wasn't kidding. It's the mark of the motherfucking beast.
Well,
I don't know. I need to look into it before I get crazy, but
I thought it was that you put it in the little cart and then it already charges you.
Yeah, I didn't know that Whole Foods was doing that, but I know they're trying to open, like some airports have it where you go into a store and you just get stuff and then you walk out.
Yeah.
But they charge your, like you have to I don't remember how it works now. Like you have to show your debit card or your phone or something upon going into the thing, and then you just get what you want and leave.
Oh, so they do that at actually Bank of America Stadium here. We did it for Beyonce, where they have the little shop and you scan your card, and I think you can only do it if your card is on your phone.
Yes.
You scan it, and then you get whatever. And I think I got like a Gatorade and a bag of chips, and I just walked out. And it was just a cashless thing.
Yeah, I did it in an airport once, and I felt like I was like,
this is the future.
This is so weird. But I do think everything is going to be on the phone, including by the way, I'm like, why are we still carting around a damn driver's license? Like, why is that? And I know some states are starting to do it on their phones, but like, why can I not have my driver's license on my phone?
I don't want a wallet. I don't
really want a wallet either, because I'm lugging it around. Like so much stuff is on my phone anyway, but then that makes it so horrific if you should lose your phone.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
But I feel like you hold on to it a little bit more. I mean, like, for instance, I lost my credit card last weekend.
Oh.
I thought, because I paid for drinks when we were at Broken Promises last Friday night, and I paid for a round of drinks, and I signed, and I remember getting my card. But I think because it was so crowded, somewhere between me putting it in my pocket and my wallet and leaving, it got lost. So I went back to Broken Promises on Saturday. They didn't have my card anywhere, and it's not like no one had charged it. So I had to like close it out and get a new one. But like,
so
I just wish that like at a bar now, because think about how annoying that is. Like when you go to a bar and you got to give them your card and they keep it, and then you got to remember you're drunk.
A lot of bars now, the last bar that I was at was like, I'm gonna give this back to you. I'm like, thank you.
I love that. And just charge me the, however much gratuity, for if I don't come and close out the tab. But
I never open a tab because I forget every single time.
Right.
I can't.
And that's good you do that.
Yeah. Typically I'm not drinking. I don't anymore drink so much out that I open a tab. Like it'll just be like one and done.
Right.
But yeah, because I have left my card in places. I left my ID at a gas station not long ago because I was just so like, I get scatterbrained. I get too like busy with what I'm doing. And then I had to drive all the way back and get the damn ID. But anyway, so I think a lot of stuff's going to be on your phone.
Yeah.
Amazon, by the way, is scanning the palm of your hand. And then once it knows it, then you can pay like that. It links it to your account. So no marking.
That's the mark of the beast, bitch, because they got your palm in their system.
Save that. Write it down. I don't know. 33 minutes, 34 minutes in.
Do you really want Jeff Bezos to have your handprints?
He doesn't own it anymore. It's fine. That's
but
so easy.
He still get money from them.
Whoever it is, who does own Amazon? Some crazy overlords that are going to get your palm print.
It's not Jeff, though.
What's Jeff doing? He out here engaged with somebody else, I think.
Maybe
his
a
ex-wife
19-year-old
giving away all the money. Like,
maybe he has the most shares in it.
Well, whoever.
Hold on. All right, I'm gonna keep looking. Now I'm curious.
I don't know about that because then that's like it.
Oh, he's the biggest shareholder. He has 1.26 billion shares. This represents 12.3 of the company's outstanding shares. He was CEO of Amazon from its founding until July 5th, 2021, when he stepped down in favor of Andrew. He's the third wealthiest person in the world with a net worth of $126 billion.
When you get to that point, do you just kind of feel like you're like, well, if I let some of it go, then I won't have $1 billion anymore, and I'm nervous. Like, how do you think that feels?
Like,
do you think he gets nervous? He's like, ooh, what if I dip below $1 billion? I might not have enough.
No, because most of his money comes from the stock market or from the shares. Yeah. So I mean, like Liquid, who knows how much money? It's not, but real they get that's why I love watching the show Billions, just to see, like, it's on Showtime, and it just shows you it is just such a different reality when, like, literally money is no object.
I know. Like, what do you do with yourself? You really have to be very self-motivated, or you could just wind up in a pit of gluttony.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you're really, because most people who get to that point are, they got there for a reason.
Right.
So, like, and this is just a really small example of, like, what it's like when you have that much wealth. So there was a storyline in the current season of Billions of the billionaire that they're featuring now. He was trying to entice his, like, ex-wife or whatever, and have a really important conversation with them. And they're in New York. Well, he comes into the apartment, and he's like, oh, I got some Skyline chili from Cincinnati. He had a helicopter go pick up the chili, helicopter it back to New York, and then just brought it in to have dinner. But then she was, like, getting dressed to go somewhere else. She was like, I'm sorry, I can't have this conversation right now. So then he gets upset, leaves the room, and then just drops the Skyline chili off in the trash can. That's what happens when you're a billionaire. You can have someone just fly to a different city to get you a meal. And then if you just change your mind, you're like, whatever, I just wasted, $500,000. It's fine.
And they're talking about, they're over here like, y'all need to recycle. And they're over here flying jets over to Skyline Chili in Cincinnati and then showing up in New York. Like, what?
I mean, just think about, like, when you have that much money, it's like you have to basically take off our poor brains and put on a limitless brain, because anything is possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like that homeboy, remember when the lottery, I think last fall, got up to like 1.6 billion or something like that. And I was reading an article where this poor man, I mean, not poor, but he's going to blow through his money. He's bought like 3 big old houses, like one in Beverly Hills, one in like Santa Barbara, and one somewhere else. And I'm like, bro, what you doing?
It's not like you're like that was a one-time bunch of money. Right. Like no one is giving you that much money for the rest of your life. You got your money. You better sit on it.
But I want it.
I want to sit on it.
I want it.
Oh.
I would just like to be like, because in that show Billions, it all centers around stock trading, I believe. Like sometimes when I start talking about like what they do to make that money, I'm like, I don't understand what any of this means.
Is it a reality show or is this scripted?
No, it's scripted. It's scripted. Okay. Yeah, it's scripted. But like the people that like work in these investment firms, they're like millionaires. They're not the billionaires, but still, even them, like the lower people, the access that they have, like it's just like to have that much money. The use of single-use plastic containers is something that will go out, and that's something I think about. Like I've even stopped when I get vegetables or something. I don't get the little rip-off little bags to put it in. I just put it in the cart or in the basket or whatever, because I'm gonna wash it when I get home. And I'm like, why would I use that to transport it from one place to another when it's been in the dirt or it's, been handled, and I'm going to wash it when I get home. So why use that plastic? So I can definitely see that going out of fashion.
Bring back straws.
Oh, I swear to God, yes. I'm on straws.
Bring back my paper menus.
Or I like that. Here's what I have to say about straws. They're finding out now that even the paper straws aren't doing well, like they thought they would. They're like not disintegrating like they thought they would. There's like chemical issues for us and for the environment in them. And maybe it is unrealistic of me to say this, but like, Have we all considered a pasta straw? Like, why are we not doing pasta straws? Too much money? Too much creation?
Does
too
it
much
disintegrate at all in the water or in the liquid?
Eventually, it would just start to get soft. It wouldn't disintegrate. It would just, but like in cold water, do you know how long it would take like a pretty sturdy round tube pasta to get soft? It would probably be longer than a paper straw takes to get soft. I just feel like we're missing an opportunity here.
Holly, maybe this could be, this is how you become a billionaire.
Yeah,
I guess so. I mean, I feel like there are people like, oh, it would break. Yeah, some of them are going to break, but like not all of them. How do you even sell pasta? How do you get pasta home from the store? It happens. You get it home.
And then you have another one. You can have a lot, but it's disposable. So who cares?
It's disposable. And it literally is disposable. Like we're just talking about pasta now. Like it's like a raccoon's going to eat it or something.
You're going to have to boil it eventually. And that probably kills bacteria.
What are you going to boil it for?
To make dinner.
No.
No? You're not going to use your pasta straw for dinner?
No, because you're drinking out of it.
So you're just going to waste a little noodle?
You're not wasting it. It's a straw. It's just a straw.
Okay. All right.
Instead of wasting plastic, it's the same concept, except it's food that disintegrates eventually into the earth.
So we're wasting food?
Not really. Not if you're using it for drinking out of, because what's the point if you're going to just waste paper or waste plastic or whatever?
Because it's going to disintegrate.
Okay.
It's going to disintegrate once you're done with it.
It's actually going to decompose.
No, I see.
Pasta's decomposing.
Got it. Okay.
Down to nothing. Unlike paper, which they're saying is
it's there forever.
Got it. Okay, I'm back.
And then finally, my friend Dante said, having kids.
So we all just gonna die? You all just gonna die then?
Last generation.
No, I know, but I do think that we're gonna get into an issue of we're gonna have less young people to take care of us old people.
Absolutely, where that's gonna happen.
Because who wants to have a kid right now? And if you are, congratulations, I'm so happy for you.
Well,
but
and
like,
people want to have kids right now.
It's too expensive.
Well, listen, somehow, like nobody ever has enough money like saved up. I was unemployed when I got pregnant. I was like not prepared with money. Like somehow I feel like most people just like you figure it out. I feel like very few people, I would say probably the minority of people are like, hey, almost done. We're almost done. I'm sorry. Long story. He's trying to get in here. I feel like most people in history have just been like, we'll figure it out. We'll make it work. Like, it's probably the minority of people that are like, we have prepared everything exactly the way that it's going to be. And now we can start. Like, that's just not how kids work. Like, you make it work. And somehow you do. Because people are like, I don't know how I'm going to be a single mom. You just do it. You just do it. Like, that's the sort of like the human resiliency. And I get it. And I'm like, I'm not saying we need to have like 15 kids each. Like, let's just pare it back. But people are like, how can you have kids right now? It's too expensive. How can you have kids right now? The climate. How can you have kids right now in this political environment? I don't know. How did they have kids during the Holocaust? How did they have kids during, any other, like the Great Depression? How did they have kids during these like horrific periods of history? Somebody still had kids and we're still going. So like maybe more people will choose not to, but someone's going to keep having kids. Otherwise, what are we even here for? Why are we like someone's got to have some kids somewhere?
People's not going to stop reproducing.
Not me.
No, it's fine. And it's not for everybody. Like you can choose not to have kids, but like
I ain't producing no kids.
I just don't like the thing where people are judgy about people having kids because they're like, how could you in this political landscape? And it's like, well, we have been through really terrible things in the past and somehow life persisted. Like,
no, I really hope that people don't judge other people, but I can definitely see why someone would choose not to because of all the things that, we just talked about.
Yeah.
Holly, got to get out of the studio. We got to go.
I do. Sorry. I told him I'd be done 11:30.
That's all right. We got to go. Holly, how can people find you on social media?
Radio Holly, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram.
Producer Kelvin.
At Kelvin Live, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram.
And mine is Miguel Fuller. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram. I think I'm leaving X because if they start charging, I'm officially done.
The thing. Yeah. If they start charging, I'm out. I've already had a conversation with Devin Sawa about it. So me and him are out.
I'm officially done. I don't know. because I also thought, because I have my alt account where I look at all my adult material, and I'm like, I don't know, where would I go? I don't know what I would do.
But you've done this before,
you did it before Twitter. Don't act.
Yeah, remember when it was
I know,
Tumblr?
but it went away.
Remember when Tumblr went away and then you went to Twitter? Now Twitter's going
I know, but then what else? What else is like? I don't know what else is there to go to.
XNXX.
But they don't have the. I don't know. We got to talk about that later. All right, gotta go. Bye.
Miguel and Holly Uncensored.
Catch it on the iHeartRadio